A written parliamentary reply reveals South Africa has 17,503 social workers, while a total of 55,000 is needed to service the workload, which is increasing daily. Candice Warner, a social worker and founder and director of the Centre for Care and Contact, says there is a crisis in the field of social work, which is a key resource in the development agenda of South Africa.
I do believe it is an issue that is rooted within government, simply because they are at the forefront, or meant to be at the forefront, when it comes to the retainment and retention of social workers. Now, there was a retention and retainment strategy that was drafted for implementation years ago through the Scarce Skills and Policy Framework in 2003, where social work was identified as a scarce skill. Now, we're almost 2 decades in since this policy was developed, but there seems to be, in my opinion, a lack of capacity to implement these policies.
Warner says the field of social work is made up of professionals with diverse knowledge and skills that make them a resource to not only social development, but to other sectors as well. She says the lack of support and daily influx of cases takes a toll on the mental health of social workers.
It's for you what we refer to as compassion fatigue. You then reach a state of burnout as a practitioner. And what then tends to happen is social workers end up resigning.
Schroeder, a social worker who specializes in the field of addiction, says they are seeing the escalation of one crisis after the other day by day.
The current reality of our country is that we are challenged on a multifaceted level, where it be within the family dynamic, where it be in child welfare, criminal justice, addiction care. We see that social workers time and time again plays a critical role in each of these areas. And by this shortage of social workers in our country at the moment, we see that these areas are not effectively addressed. And by that not being addressed, service delivery is also being impacted.
The Democratic Alliance, who posed the question to the department, says currently 9,000 social workers are unemployed due to funding constraints.
According to government, about 5,000 social workers need to be employed to implement our substance abuse legislation, and a further 3,000 to implement the Older Persons Act. The costing of social workers to implement gender-based violence legislation, as well as the Social Development Bill currently under development, still needs to be done.
The party recommends that all social worker vacancies be funded as a matter of urgency. Numerous attempts to get a response from the Department of Social Development went unanswered. Abra Barbia, SABC News, Parliament.